You've been here before, staring at the same screen. The time we spend before we start working. There are 1,440 hours in a school year. The average public school teacher in an OECD country spends 791.5 of those teaching. That's 54.9% of their workday. That leaves half of their time for planning, grading, feedback, collaboration, professional learning, parent communication, general administration, coverage, and differentiating and personalizing instruction. How much of that time is effective? How much of that work is done after hours? How much time do you have to think, to be your best? We can't give you more time, but we can better use the time we have. Take back creativity. Liberate your time with Eduaide.ai.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 5 of the Week of AI by Teacher Goals. Bear with us through the technical difficulties today because I've had them. She's had them. We've all had them. We've got an exciting guest this afternoon, Bonnie Nieves. If you're not familiar with her, she does amazing work. And her presentation is just fantastic. Also, don't forget, if you have not got your Week of AI t-shirt, go ahead and pick it up at bit.ly/Week of AI shirt, which it is. Where's that graphic? Right here. When you buy a t-shirt, you're entered to win a set of 30 books for the AI classroom and an hour of free PD. We have other books that we're giving away, a Canva print voucher, and licenses to Curipod. We had a fantastic sponsored presentation from Eduaide. If you haven't used Eduaide yet, make sure that you go and sign up. It is completely free. It is made by educators for educators. Absolutely. And if you didn't catch that session, make sure you catch it on the replay.
Yes, that one I think will be well watched. That is a great platform. But yeah, today, wonderful lineup again. And we have our girl, Bonnie. We love her. I adore her. Can you tell? And she is also from Massachusetts as well, like I am. She lives near me and part of my crew for MassQ, that whole crew. But Bonnie Nieves is, and I hope I say your last, I never say your last name, Bonnie, so hope I said it right, is an MED in curriculum, has a Master of Ed in Curriculum, Instruction, and Educational Leadership. She is a high school teacher at Nipmuc. I don't know if I said that right, and it's right down the street from me. Regional High School in Massachusetts. Science and ed tech consultant, presenter, and author. Bonnie provides online courses, virtual and in-person professional development training for schools and individuals. Connect with Bonnie on Twitter at Biology Goddess and on Instagram, Be Awesome on Purpose. How cool is that? Be awesome on purpose. And that's exactly what she is. Awesome.
She is. Hi, Bonnie.
Hello. How are you?
Doing well. How are you this evening?
Yeah, I'm really good. Yeah, I have been so enjoying all of the sessions, and I just really want to give a round of applause to you two for doing such a great job. Like, really. And technical difficulties, I don't think anyone's picking up on them. So if you hadn't said anything, no one would have known.
You know what's so funny? It's every single presenter's had one, and we all just beat ourselves up live. Even our keynotes were like, oh, but it happens when you go live. That's part of a live event, and you just roll with it, and it makes it kind of fun because it brings out people.
Real.
Yes,
makes me real sweaty.
People know. People know we're really here. Oh, I had a cat jump on me the other day. So,
well, there you go. Yeah, I just think it's great. It's really like a down home conversational and not like it's sort of unscripted, but it's not unprofessional. The whole thing's great. So
thank you.
You're doing fantastic, and you're making everyone feel right at home here.
Thank you so much, Bonnie.
Yeah,
why we love her.
And we can't wait for you to share. So if you want to go ahead and share your screen, we will. Yeah. We will drop down and let you wow the viewers with what you're going to share about AI and education.
All right, we'll do. Let's see. I have to share my entire screen because I'm splitting a couple of screens, so it's going to look kind of wonky for a second, and then I'll make it right.
We've seen it all. Don't even worry.
We're fans of the wonky donkeys.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we go.
All
All
right.
right. So do you have my beautiful Curipod Canva configuration here? Is that what you're looking at?
I am.
Yes.
Looks
Using
Right.
AI
good.
to improve literacy. This is
Yeah. I love this this whole design that you came up with. Was this Amanda with all of this?
yes, this is all. This is Amanda's baby. She has created this
It's
thing.
It's been a
great.
labor of love.
Okay.
Right. I
Yeah.
had so much fun remaking this. Like I've never used this style before, so I really dig it. So I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, it's like the cyberpunk futuristic retro. We're like
Yes.
looking to the future, but paying homage to the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it.
All right. Well, we're gonna pop down and let you rock the conversation.
All right. I'm ready to go.
All right.
So I am going to be talking about how to use science to,
Oop.
but I'd appreciate if someone could give me some ideas, things that they want to see me try out here. I'll definitely do that too. I'm going to do it on the fly. You can see I've got tabs open and an extra window open in the back. So I don't want it to look like it's something that has been really highly rehearsed. I just want you to know that it's stuff that you can do really quickly, right? That's the beauty of AI is that it does everything so quickly, and something that I appreciate about it is just how fast it types for me. Even if I just have something that I know I want written down, I can just ask ChatGPT to write something, and it types so incredibly fast. Even that is worthwhile. So we'll see how that all comes together. Here's something that I shared with some colleagues from Barbara and Zelanka from LinkedIn. And this is something that I think every educator needs to see. And that's why I put it at the front of this little presentation. All right, this I don't have a lot of slides, but there are still some students who have not yet experienced the power of generative AI or shown much interest in learning about it, despite the growing buzz surrounding artificial intelligence. As educators, it is our duty to encourage all students to learn about artificial intelligence, privacy concerns, potential impacts of AI on the job market, as well as to give them the chance to explore and experiment with this technology in an atmosphere of safety and support. Find out how you can make your students excited about AI. What else would you add to the list? And there's a whole bunch of stuff that came in the thread after this, but it's a conversation that needs to be had because there are a lot of teachers who are still resistant to using AI with students. And I feel like that's not doing them any favors. It's actually a great disservice to students because it is what's going to be in the job market. It will be ubiquitous. It is not something that's going to be optional in the future. It's been coming for a very long time. And do we remember this guy from Microsoft from a million years ago, it seems? But AI, the idea of having an assistant is not new. Even Doug Clippity, I think was his name. But this little guy, and then he eventually turned into a dog. And now we've got Copilot, and we've got all of these fantastic things that do a lot more work for us. So it's just a progression. And it may be frightening for some people to think about. We're not at the end of the progression yet. AI is only going to improve. And if the history of science is an example, the more science we have, the faster the improvements are made. So it's going to just expand exponentially in the near future and for for a very long time to come. So it's worth learning about now and helping your students learn about it also. So I'm going to show you some teacher-focused tools. I considered using Eduaide in this presentation, but then I saw that Eduaide was right before me here, so I figured I'd do something different. So this is not to say that Eduaide is not an amazing tool, because it absolutely is. I'm going to show you some things that are teacher-focused and how you can translate them to student-focused and increase literacy skills, which seems to be a huge concern for teachers, because the buzz at the beginning of, like, back in December when ChatGPT became mainstream was about students cheating on writing assignments and things like that. So this just shows, I'm going to show you how you can actually improve literacy using these tools. So imagine a project cycle, right? Everyone knows that project-based learning is really beneficial to students. And to go through this project cycle, you start with inquiry, then use research, reflection, and come up with a public product. In a classroom such as mine, with 25 students per class and 5 classes, it starts to look like everyone's hand up asking for help all the time. And you have 25 students, say they're working in pairs. So that means you've got about 12 projects, all different, all going at the same time. It becomes incredibly difficult to manage. The last project that my students did and are currently working on was in biotechnology class, and it was based on sustainable development goals. So let's look at a scenario where students go through this inquiry research cycle. So I'm going to switch over to this window because this is where I have my ChatGPT going. And let's look here. The prompt that I put into ChatGPT was, I need to write a research paper on biotechnology solutions for an SDG. Can you work with me? ChatGPT says, of course. Be happy to assist you with your research paper on biotechnology solutions for a specific sustainable development goal. Please let me know which SDG you would like to focus on, and we can begin discussing potential biotechnology solutions that align with that goal. So I chose number 2. ChatGPT knows that SDG number 2 is zero hunger, and it gave some potential bios. We've got genetically modified crops, precision agriculture, vertical farming and controlled environment agriculture, agricultural biotechnology research, biotechnological approaches to crop protection. So these look pretty interesting, but let's say the student chooses genetically modified crops. So with this, the student can go to Consensus AI and ask a question and find some research papers. This is different than going to, say, the Gale databases or all those databases that you need to go to the library and maybe even pay a premium for. So here, we'll just say, what are some recent genetically modified crops? And give it a couple of seconds. And here we go. We've got some old ones, 1998, 2003, but Consensus tells us that this one is highly cited. I can share it. Here's one from 2000, 2004, 2012. And if I wanted to, I could synthesize this. It doesn't always work. There needs to be a lot of information for it to work correctly, but let's see. So the consensus is that recent genetically modified crops include corn, soybeans, cotton, potatoes, and examples like BT corn in India being pest resistant. So that's pretty neat to know. But let's just say that my student is interested in this BT corn, clicks over here, and now, not behind a paywall, is able to access the full text document. And this, of course, is as a PDF. So now we open up the PDF. Oh no, we don't want that to happen. Technical difficulties. Let's find one that's not going to give me any difficulties. Let's try. And I do have one. I did a Food Network style. I have one saved up here if none of these work. There's one in the oven just in case. Right, and let's try. I was about to apologize for this taking so long, but then I realized how fast this actually is really happening, right? When you consider that there were times when we would have to go to the library and do all that research and dig through all sorts of files. This is coming up really quickly. So I've got the PDF on transgenic corn, and I copied the link. I'm going to go to a different AI, right? As a student, go to a different AI. This one is ChatPDF. And let's put the URL in there. Because this PDF that we found, or that we located here, is pretty dense. It was 13 pages long, and it's in a lot of science jargon. So this chat PDF is going to take it and break it down and even suggest questions that a person should ask about it. So what are the benefits of transgenic corn? And how does agrobacterium-mediated transformation work in cotton tissue culture? That's a biotechnology question for you, but let's try something a little less complicated. It pulls information from the PDF and provides a really quick summary of it. So I'm not going to go through all 13 pages of this, but let's consider that now a student who may have been completely discouraged by having to read something that was difficult to read and extraordinarily long and took a long time to find, now has, in a couple of minutes, found a PDF and summarized it on a topic that they're actually interested in. And let's just say maybe after previewing this was like, oh no, that's not what I thought it was, not interested, could just go back to the ChatGPT and choose another one of those topics, right? There were 8 to 10 topics listed just off the top of its head for the student to choose from. Now, put your teacher hat on and think you've got 12 groups of students, and now you've got 12 topics. And students are working on research, but they're learning as they go. So the vocabulary will be new, and the things that they're running into as they're researching will be new. So you want to provide some sort of structured, scaffolded experience for them. So let's take this topic of transgenic cotton and to another tool, Twee, TWEE, and let's look at all of the things this can do. It will take a video up to 5 minutes and write the transcript for it. Not so special, right? Lots of things can do that. It will make questions for your YouTube video. It will write a summary for the YouTube video. It will also create a text on a certain topic. So instead of me as a teacher going onto the internet or looking in my library and trying to find 12 different topics of good reading material for students, what I can do is just go, let's talk about transgenic corn. And it's from the UK, so we've got these unfamiliar to us in the United States levels here. And I'm not going to choose any target vocab. And let's see what kind of text this tweet comes up with. The transgenic cotton, also known as genetically modified cotton, is a type of cotton that has been altered through genetic engineering. This process involves insertion of genes from other organisms into the cotton plant's DNA. Yep, these are true statements. One of the benefits is that it helps farmers increase their crop yields. However, there are concerns. Despite these concerns, in conclusion, while transgenic cotton has its pros and cons, it is clear that it will continue to play an important role in the global cotton industry. So that sounds like a pretty decent article for my students to read. I could shorten it if I'd like, or could make any one of these automatic activities for students to do. Could have some, let's make some discussion questions. So now having 12 different topics and 12 different groups isn't such a task, right? I can do this 12 times, piece of cake, and have students actually collaborating, right, amongst themselves at the same time, so learning from one another. The one thing this will not do is create flashcards, but we've got that covered too. And this is one of my favorite things to do with ChatGPT. So I'm going to switch over to my ChatGPT screen. And I'm going to ask it to pull out the Tier 3 vocabulary. Right, so let's see. Copy that article from Twee, and I put it over here. Let's see. Let's see, do I like all those? Let's assume that I like all those, but if I didn't, I could just tell it to eliminate any number, right? I could say eliminate number 11. Insect is not a Tier 3 vocabulary word. Or ask it to double check, and it would double check. But for the sake of time, let's say that we like these. And provide the term and definition in C CSV format. All right, so here we go. CSV, we've got the definitions, the words, perfect. Copy that and put that into Quizlet or any other vocabulary game website that allows you to add things as CSV. I'm gonna create flashcards. Import them. I'm gonna take away this at the beginning because we don't need that in the flashcards. And say the comma is where the terms are. And would you look at that? We've got a beautiful study set of terms based right off of that Twee article that we just created a minute ago. Again, doing that 12 times seems like a whole lot of work, but not when it doesn't seem like. I mean, it is a whole lot of work, but not having to research every single one of them and create these as easy as it is to create Quizlet sets with the pre-made definitions already there. We've got these that are targeted to the exact reading selection created for students based on their specific topic. So it's something that we know they're interested in because they chose it themselves. And we can use this to really get them interested in what they're doing and be able to better understand that difficult text that came up in the PDF, right? That the research papers are always really dense, and students are resistant to doing things like that because it's hard to do. So we simplify it. We can take those papers and put them into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to change the reading level of that, but it could at some point change the information that's in there. So I think using something like Chat PDF is really good because it encourages kids to ask questions. And when kids don't have questions, it gives them example questions, almost like a thought partner to be able to get through that. Now let's look at our next slide here and think about if anyone's here live and wants to join in. Let's see how we can get everyone into this Curipod. And let's get you some feedback, right? And think about if you were a student in the class and the question that I give you is not relevant to the biotechnology research, but imagine if you had this activity to give to students and you asked questions that were relevant to their research. This Curipod gives instant personalized feedback. So I'm asking you to have a claim, provide evidence and reasoning in your writing. And you've got 3.5 minutes to do that. I won't take the entire 3.5 minutes. Amanda and Erica, I can't see the chat when my window's open. So if there's any like questions or anything I can answer, please let me know.
Okay. No, everybody's I'm in here too. I'm typing away on the
Okay, super.
Curipod. But really wonderful comments here.
Okay.
And how much people really loved it. And let's see what we got here. I love it.
Yeah, I know I'm switching tabs and I'm doing a lot of things, but
oh no, I totally get it. It's
yeah.
That's what I went out and bought a new monitor just for this for this thing so I could have everything open. But yeah, so join the Curie. The Curie? I don't know if that's a nickname.
Curie.live. Yep.
Live.
Curie.live and the pin is right there.
Yep. And if you are in and your students are a little late to join, you can just pop that code back up and it stays up at the top of the screen. So at any time they can join, just like Nearpod.
Yeah, it's always there.
And Don says, very nice. All the resources and abstracts in one research. She loved it. Let's see.
Yeah, I love the chat PDF. That's
cool.
It's interesting because you can actually create your own chat bot based on a book. So if you like the AI Classroom, for example, like when we published that, we were talking about creating a chat bot to go with the book. And in order to do that, you have to kind of chunk it. So you would actually upload each chapter instead of the whole book at one time. So it's got faster recall, so it can actually search through the different chapters. So I don't know, it's just really interesting how that works.
Yeah, that would be really neat. In the Sal Khan TED Talk that just recently came out, where he was talking about a student talking to a character in a book to get information about the reason why that person behaved a certain way in the book. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, there's a tool called character.ai as well, where students can actually create their own chatbots based on characters. So I created a Gatsby character. There's a lot of there's a lot of pre-made characters that you can select and interact with, but you basically program it. You give it the role and you define the parameters, like using the prep model that we have in the book. And it acts just like, and you can pull quotes from the book and ask what the quotes mean, and it'll respond in character.
Amazing. All right, so everyone should have gotten their feedback back from Curipod. I didn't preview it, so actually it gives you a good idea of what Curipod is able to do, and knowing that I didn't preview it to see if it was relevant or helpful, because I assume that it is actually.
I love that Curipod actually allows you to edit the feedback before it's sent. My feedback says your answer correctly identifies potential ways AI tools can help students learn more effectively by providing differentiation and support, editing, writing, and generating ideas. However, I love the however. Dun, dun, dun. It would be useful to provide a clear claim that explains how these functions of AI help students learn. So, I love that it makes suggestions on how to be more clear.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like here we are in here just kind of messing around with it a bit. But students that are actually trying in, when they have the clear objective, they'll be more focused on the answers. But look at this, that it gives it, right?
I'm so bummed because I loved what I wrote, and I guess I didn't hit enter. It said, a wise man with a staff once said, "You shall not pass."
Oh, no.
What do you mean? You shall not pass.
That's too funny. The people at Curipod have such a sense of humor.
They do. That's hilarious. I was laughing. I'm like,
them.
oh man.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. I was on a call with Eric and he was so excited when Elvish, when they were doing the translator and they have Elvish language. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm like, you have to do ancient or Valerian. And he's like, oh, we've got that and Dothraki. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, Game of Thrones for the win.
Oh my gosh.
It's really amazing, but it gets just kids engaged in it, even if it doesn't make a lot of sense. There's things that you just have to do to make connections with kids that, you know,
Oh, yeah. I did the
it's
thriller
important.
with an 8th
It's
grader
important.
to show him some, I guess, my street cred. I don't know.
Yeah.
They just took the MCAS. So he said, will you put on Michael Jackson Thriller? And all of a sudden he busted out doing the whole dance. So, of course,
Whoa.
we all got up. It was really fun. So yeah, connecting with your students and,
Yeah.
you keep making me think of that movie 17 again or whatever.
Yeah.
All those references are in there. And yeah, I need to watch more movies.
Do you remember the Harlem Shake?
Yeah.
Oh no.
My first year of teaching, we didn't have a principal. It was
Oh.
just it was one was going out and they were hiring someone, and iPads. We just got this class set of iPads, and I had the iPads in my classroom. Nobody wanted to get the iPad cart, and I'm like, y'all are cray cray. Like I had it every day, and one day I was like talking about connecting with students. I was like, we're gonna make a Harlem Shake video. And all the kids in my classroom, they're sitting there looking all bored with their books. And then we did the hard jump cut, and they're like dancing with the iPads, and it was like learning with books, learning with iPads, and they're jumping up. I have a kid doing the worm on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And our temporary supervisor walks in my room
Of course.
when this was going on, and every single one of my kids stopped what they were doing, went and sat back in their desk, and just kind of looked like there's nothing going on here. There's nothing to see.
I tell you, my classes like that every day. I think they just stop. They don't even shake their heads anymore. They just expect to walk in.
Yeah.
Well, teaching film and teaching ELA, very different.
Film is
all kinds of shenanigans going on in my film class. But this is like ELA. They all sit down and they're just like, nothing to see here. And they just totally had my back. And I went and told, and I told everyone what was going on afterwards. But these kids thought I was going to get in trouble. They all just sat down like,
oh,
that's so sweet. They did that. Mine wouldn't do that.
It was so sweet. And then after we released the video, it became a county challenge. We had different schools doing the Harlem Shake and trying to out.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
It was really cool. So talking about relating to kids, not AI based at all. So totally deviated.
The thing is, though, then lately a lot of things have been AI based. A lot of fun things we're doing. So you just wait. There's going to be some kind of challenge on TikTok or something, and it's all around this. Maybe we could start it. Ooh, what do you think, sweeties?
Thomas, Amanda's such a geek. He so gets me.
Geeks unite.
I know that's so.
We're all here.
There's nothing wrong with that. Proud of my geek status too.
I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it.
I wear it like honor. I typically, if I'm presenting, I introduce myself as a self-proclaimed nerd. So, I'm like, I'm a self-proclaimed nerd. I love Star Wars, Marvel, and all things nerdy. I have a Funko Pop collection and lots of T-shirts. And Converse in many colors.
Yes. My students are so funny. Yeah, they're like, if Mrs. Nieves isn't wearing her Chuck Taylors or Toms, then she must be going somewhere special, because that's the only time she's not wearing those.
The evolution of me teaching. I started in heels. I wore heels every single day. And my neighbor teacher knew when I got to school, because he said, I heard your click, 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 down the hallway. Mm-hmm. And my last year of teaching was Chuck Taylors and jeans. It was just like, I ain't got time for heels anymore. I had to go up 3 flights of stairs to get to my classroom.
Every teacher dresses up for pajama day at my school. They take advantage of that.
Pajama day.
Yeah. And
I love the memes of pajama days, teachers in the wild, like when you have to go to Target in your pajamas.
The kids today, you have to bring yourself to them. That's why I love TikTok and I love all these things and what we're doing. And this is providing us so many opportunities to do that. When we were just cracking up today trying out some of the tools I learned about this week, and just to see the joy in kids, and
Yeah.
but the creativity, we're working on something I was presenting tomorrow, and I've never seen 100% of this class so engaged, and it's because they have confidence in their answers, in their ideas.
Yes.
That's the one I wanted to do. Look, it's right there. And then, but we could even add this to it. And it's just,
Which tune in tomorrow for Erica's session at 6.
I cannot wait for that.
Don't say that.
She's a little nervous, and she has no amazing.
And I'm, I put a lot of time into my presentations, but I'm going to be honest, I'm very busy this week, so I'm hoping to.
Well, I mean, it's not like you're co-hosting a conference.
No, not at all. And my parents are here from Florida visiting, and the house has to be. I mean, none of that's happening, Yeah, don't worry. I'll pull it off. I always do, but this is actually, Bonnie, to be honest, this is a new space for me. Everyone thinks, oh, Erica, Miss Green Screen Gal is going to be a AI expert, and no, not at all. I don't
think there are any AI experts there.
There's none.
New, and we're all just exploring.
We're all just playing together. So I hope I can bring something new, and I definitely am excited to share a few things nobody has shared yet, because every presentation I'm like, yes, they didn't show that one.
Good.
Well, we're about at time. Bonnie, thank you for coming on and agreeing to share your expertise in AI. And hopefully at the end of this week, everyone's a little bit more of an expert, because we do have 24 excellent presenters and sessions that will allow you to get started somewhere with AI. My advice is don't be overwhelmed. Pick one thing and implement it. So
and don't worry too much about becoming an expert, because everything just keeps changing anyway.
It keeps changing, and it's so fast.
It's the wild west. This landscape's going to look different in 1 month, 6 months. So
we're going to have AI Wild West song. Wow.
Like what's next September going to look like? The beginning of next school year, we actually have no idea. We actually don't know what tools will be available for us.
We're going to have to write the AI Classroom 2.0.
I think there's going to be one every year, but it's just I just hope that everybody understands that, just like we order our groceries online now, use the technology. It's here to help us, because we work too hard. We're tired, and we need to not be killing ourselves and doing things that we've done a million times that we don't need to use the brain space for. So, but the kids have been, it's been such a positive experience. So I hope that others have that experience too. Thank you, Bonnie. Bonnie, you were amazing. I'm babbling, but Bonnie, that was really good. I can't wait to show my ELA teachers that.
See, it's just my science geek comes out. I figured John and Fonz did the image stuff, which was amazing.
Yes, Midjourney and Firefly, which Midjourney has that barrier to entry. I think once Adobe Firefly gets out of beta, it's going to be the go-to text-to-image generator for education.
But then Scott's got Canva coming up too, right? Tomorrow?
Yep. Tomorrow, Canva is our sponsor. They have text-to-image built into their platform as well. Students already have access to it. So you can jump in and start playing around. In our resource guide, if you registered for the conference, you will get access to a text-to-image activity. It's creating Funko Pops with text-to-image. Yeah, like a little Funko Pop. So I have Wanda here. If you guys don't know, I do my Canva Vision. It's pretty off of WandaVision. It's that inspired me to create a Funko Pop activity where students make it talk and bring it to life and use AI to script it and everything.
You have it in
and Canva has DID now too.
We've been using it. I used up all my credits, so it's worth it.
You don't get that many.
I'm buying that one.
It is 7. We got to pop out and get to the next session. So to our viewers out there, don't go anywhere. We have a small intermission. Go grab a drink, go grab a Coke, go grab a sandwich. Come back. We'll be right here.
Make me a sandwich.
Bye. Make me a sandwich.